Welcome back. It's still Morning Rush on a Metro Television. This morning we are having an interesting conversation. I mean, last week we had Matthias Bonsu Eroko Boateng, who is IR, governance and leadership expert. And last week we spoke about diplomacy. What exactly is diplomacy? What are the rules in terms of negotiation, the roles when it comes to crisis management, and so on and so forth. And he taught us so many things. Today, we are looking at the ways of achieving foreign policy goals through diplomacy. And it's good to have Matthias in the studio again. Good morning, Matthias.
Bonjour.
How are you?
Je vais bien chez vous.
Wow! And interestingly...
Je pense que...
Please, I am responding.
Sorry.
Tu dis quoi? Non, mais tu n'as rien dit encore.
Interestingly, Matthias speaks 7 languages. 7 languages. Like I asked, and he actually said 7. So what and what and what?
Well, I speak 3 international languages.
Which is
Spanish,
okay.
English, and French.
¿Cómo está?
¿Está muy bien?
Ah, that's the only Spanish I know! I know, but I was right.
You can say "cómo estás," you can say "qué tal."
Yeah, I know "cómo está."
Yeah, you know Spanish, you have the Spanish from Spain, you have the Mexicans who have Spanish also. Yeah. Some countries you can say "qué tal."
Okay.
Some countries I say "cómo estás." Yeah. So I mean, it's...
Vamos.
Wow.
Vamos.
Vamos.
No.
So now Spanish...
We don't say, in Spanish, the V is pronounced B.
B.
And then the B is pronounced V.
V. Oh.
So if you say vamos.
Okay.
Vamos, so let's go, vamos. But when you are writing, it comes V.
Oh, okay. So Matthias, you're not done. Spanish.
So let's say muy bien. Muy bien.
Okay.
Like in French, you say bien.
Okay,
but when it goes to Spanish, it becomes V.
Oh. Yeah. I'm more particular about the language. So Spanish, English,
and French.
Those are the foreign language. Yeah. And the 4 left.
Nzema, Ga, Chi, Ikapem.
Oh, okay. That's good.
Okay, that's nice.
It's all good. That's good. But this morning we are looking at ways to achieve foreign policy goals through diplomacy. And last week we spoke a lot about diplomacy. But then, how is diplomacy an important role when it comes to foreign policies? Let's start with that, and then we'll move on to some of the foreign policies that we need diplomacy to get involved. Yeah.
Well, you cannot achieve foreign policy without diplomacy.
Okay.
And then there are so many tools to use to achieve foreign policy.
Okay.
And we will look at them and then we'll give examples so you understand, you have a clear understanding about this thing. So some of the tools you can use to achieve foreign policy are one, diplomacy. Diplomacy is one of the tools. You also have military force. You can use military force as one of the tools.
Okay.
You can also use foreign aid. Do you understand? You can use sanctions.
Okay.
You understand? And so forth. So in tackling those things, first of all, you need to understand the foreign policy or how foreign policy are formulated or come about. For instance, Ghana, our foreign policy to our neighboring countries are already known, like we spoke about the other day here. I mean, maintaining peace around the Sahel region, or everybody around us. We want to maintain peace. We want to showcase our culture. We want to maximize profit in terms of gains, investment, and stuff like that. So these are some of our foreign policies. And then we give example for you to understand that when President Kufuor came, he understood, and this is in our constitution. Yes, I think when you read the preamble of the Constitution of Ghana to tell you that, I mean, we need to maintain peace around us. So when President Kufuor came in, he went to Togo, traveled around to make sure that's the... And then look, any president that has ascended the seat of the presidency in Ghana, in their inaugural speech, they make it clear. For instance, it's all part of diplomacy and how to achieve them. You see, anytime a president is being sworn in, he invites people around him. Do you understand? And even if you listen to the speech of Nana Akufo-Addo, he made it clear. When we listen to, I think it was President Mills, President Mahama, that really didn't speak about it. But the people he invited, I mean, it was clear. Like Yaya Boni from Benin was the main person his special guest, I think, on that day. And then when it comes to Akufo-Addo, he used Alassane Ouattara.
Okay.
You know, so, I mean, these are things that you can also use to achieve your goals, whatever your policy is.
Yeah.
Let's take military, for instance. Military force is what this guy is using now. What's his name? Putin.
Okay.
Against Ukraine.
Ukraine, yeah.
Yes, because of their foreign policy against the West.
Yeah.
You get it?
Yeah.
So this is another tool you can also use. I'm bringing it up for you to understand.
To understand, yeah.
So when you talk about sanctions, you can also use them to achieve foreign policy.
Yeah. Okay.
For instance, if let's say a country, Putin is is using force, military force against Ukraine.
Ukraine, yeah.
And America is using sanctions against Russia. So they are imposing sanctions that we will not give you this, we will not do that, we will not buy your goods and stuff like that. So these are sanctions you can also use.
Yeah.
So it varies. Diplomacy is just one aspect of it. And if you want to use diplomacy, there are different types of diplomacy. There is something we call public diplomacy. And I think in most cases we use public diplomacy a lot. You understand? So in using public diplomacy, there are so many things you do. So for example, let's say, let me use Korea for instance.
I wanted us to use the US and the China.
The tightening of their relationship.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so this is you can tell me, you can look at two sizes. You understand? So we can see it as maybe public diplomacy or how do you call it, military force. But it's military force, but it's not like rigid. It's not giddy.
Yeah.
You understand? You know why? You know, the last time we came, we spoke about Sato's definition that you need to use intelligence and be smart.
Yeah.
So listen, why will US today say that they want to have good relationship with China?
China, yes. You
know why?
Why?
Because they know that the relationship between China and Russia is strong.
Okay, than theirs.
You understand?
Yeah.
So let's say if today there is a problem between Russia and China, who do you think Russia and China, Russia and US,
and the US,
China will support, because China has made it clear.
Exactly.
And there are treaties or there are conventions between China and Russia that we do not know. It's also part of secret diplomacy.
Yeah.
So there are treaties you sign and then nobody knows. But when you attack, then you realize that, oh, you may think that I was attacking one nation before you realize two people have joined.
Yeah.
So US have understood that, listen, it will be in our interest to help China. Have you ever heard China condemn Putin for attacking Russia and Ukraine?
No.
You see?
No.
Because they are friends and they've made it clear that they are friends. Recently, another thing that the African Union did that I think it's in good faith, but really didn't work, is that, because they know that Russia is really coming into Africa a lot, and other nations are speaking to Putin. And
I think Russia is coming to Africa or China?
Russia.
Russia, okay.
Russia, because they are getting to Africa a lot. That's why Kamala Harris will run and come and all this stuff.
Okay.
So they sent leaders from Africa to go and meet Putin concerning Ukraine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you understand? So that is called persuasion. Just recently, they sent leaders from from Africa, led by the South African president, went to meet Russia to speak to Putin concerning Ukraine. And then Putin said a lot of things. I mean, we know Putin how he is. Yeah. So China, it is in the interest of the US to be friends with China.
With China, yeah.
Because if things escalate, who do you... And it is so... US is not stupid. Excuse my language. They are smart. They are French, and China also is smart. So they will study themselves very, very well. What is the interest? Because remember, the last time we came, said, whatever you are doing is about interest.
Yeah.
So the US trying to be friends with China is because of our interest. And China too will look at its interest. This relationship that we are coming to foster, this relationship that is coming good between us, what would we gain? What does Russia, US gain from it, and what will China
China also gain from
also
it.
profit from
Yeah.
it? Yes. So these are the things that these are the things that both countries will be looking at. And then because we know the history between these two, they'll be friends, but with one eye closed and one eye open.
So
Do you understand?
we're talking about all of these, but I want us to situate it in Ghana so that maybe people could follow more. So Ghana is much more closer to, of course, the Brits because of
Colonialism.
the history that
Yeah.
we have together. And even in the Commonwealth space, and even on the U.S. Security Council, we are trying to find the UN Security Council. We are trying to find our way in there and all that. But we are a very small nation.
Yeah.
In respect to a small nation and bigger nations, where do we go? Like, do they really respect us in that sense? As this is Ghana, let's help them. Or, I mean, I just want to understand all that makes.
We are a small nation, but very dangerous. Yes.
Ghana.
Yes.
How dangerous?
Very dangerous. Kwame Nkrumah made us very dangerous. You know, I wouldn't get into the CIA, how Kwame Nkrumah was overthrown and this. You know that today, if Ghana really stands on its feet and Ghana really pushes for the unity of Africa, it can be possible.
It will be.
Yes, it will be possible. You understand? So, you see,
a small nation like ours.
Don't say we are small. We are not really small. It's because it's the economy and things that do not really work. But we are not that small as in small. You know, they use Ghana as a gateway to Africa.
Yeah.
If you were a small nation, nobody's going to use you as a gateway to Africa. You understand? What will make you know that Ghana is not small is look at when Macron came to Ghana. Macron was here, Akufo-Addo was here. Akufo-Addo made a statement saying that, listen, we want to be self-sufficient, Ghana beyond aid, And then he said that, yes, if the West wants to help, good, but we're not going to sit down and wait to say that we are waiting for people, And then he made something, he said, if France wants to help us, tant mieux. Did you see the gesture of Macron? Yes. You see, diplomat, you need to be smart and intelligent. You need to look. Sometimes the gesture of people is body language. You need to understand all this. I will ask you to go and look for that thing and then watch when Macron came to Ghana.
Okay.
The president has traveled. You know the people who invited him? Macron is part. So there's interest. He's looking for something. Akufo-Addo is looking for something. And he knows that if Ghana is able to give into whatever they are looking for, they can get to other nations. Why would Kamala Harris coming to Africa and she decides to come to Ghana first?
Well, other people have come here before, other presidents, other dignitaries have.
Yes, but I'm saying that she's going to other Africa.
Yeah.
But she comes to Ghana first.
Yeah.
And then she didn't come to Ghana for nothing. You know, I told you that there are tools you can use to achieve a foreign policy, like diplomacy, military force, sanctions, foreign aid. When she came, what did she give?
Oh, foreign aid. Foreign aid. Because, she didn't give military, she didn't give diplomacy.
So she gave money. Giving money. You understand? What are they looking for? These lesbians again. When she talks about the money, then she mentions the human rights issue. It's about this gay issue, but she passes to human rights. Why didn't she talk about it before talking about it? But she spoke about the money before talking about the persuasion.
So
a lot goes into it.
Everything about it is very tactical.
It's tactical. That's why I said you want to use an status definition. You understand a lot of things. Let's come to World Cup 2014. The 2014 where it was played in Russia. You understand? Okay. Something beautiful happened. At the final of the World Cup, the Croatian president, you know, Croatia was a very tourist attraction in this country. People go there for tourism and this and that. They had a little problem with Russia. So most of the tourists from Russia will not go to Ukraine, Croatia for tourism and stuff like that. So when at the final of the World Cup, the semi-final, she was there. You know, when she went, she didn't sit with the VIP. She was sitting with her people. She was sitting with her fans. She was wearing the jersey and sitting with the people.
I remember that.
You understand? Look at what happened. On the final day, even when Croatia lost the match, she was in Russia. She knows that the tourism, people from Russia that were coming to Croatia was going down. So tourism aspect, she was losing.
Yeah.
So this is what she did. She made Putin and Macron look like babies. Even when it was raining and they were putting umbrella on Putin and Macron, she was in the rain. You know what she was doing? She was hugging everybody, laughing,
sort of sending
excited.
A
president,
when I said that,
a diplomat, a president. She's a military president. So she was all over.
All over, yeah.
You know what she was doing? Drawing the attention of the world to Croatia.
Croatia. Like, they should come and see something.
You understand?
Like, the people are, the hospitality.
The president is
she was there. She was... Even when Macron and Putin, even Macron and Putin realized what she was doing, so they were a bit surprised. She would hug Macron, touch them. So it's all part of diplomacy.
Yeah.
You understand? So we call it's called soft power. You know, power, you have the hard power, you have the soft power. So these are things that you need to understand, and then you can achieve them in so many ways. In so, like I've told you, foreign aid. You know, when we had a problem with Gaddafi, for instance, in Gaddafi, where African leaders were talking to him, they were saying that they were using threats, like deterrence threats, to say that, oh, if you don't stop, we will bring forces. We are getting ready to bring the AU forces against you and stuff like that. They were threats. They were not really going to go. But because America and NATO understood that they had interest in the oil there, they were able to, they went there fast and to make sure that killed Gaddafi. Yeah. You understand? Yeah. It was for their interest, because they had bigger interest in Libya.
In Libya than any other person. But I wanted to touch a bit on Africa being a state. Is it possible? Should it be pushed? Should it be an agenda pushed? Aren't people okay being in their own countries? Should we wake up someday and then say that Africa is a state, like the United States of America?
It will be in our interest to unite, to be one. You understand?
As a whole continent.
Yes. You see, even when you listen to Kwame Nkrumah, when he was talking about the Africa, he made a statement. He said, even Europe has united. Even Europe is united.
Yeah.
You understand? And that is why they are strong.
And because even with the Europe, I mean, they fight amongst themselves.
Yeah.
You understand? So most of the trades is between them. You understand? So they are strong.
Yeah.
So if we are able to unite as Africans, we'll be strong. You know that if I have a Netherlands visa,
passport,
I can just travel to. I'll just drive to Paris, drive to Germany, drive to this. But here, even when I'm going to Togo, I mean, look at it.
I've seen that.
But barriers and borders have divided us so much that we are not one.
True, but if a white man comes in, and I mean, I'm just saying, if a white man or a European comes in, they get it easier to go through our borders than even as the Africans.
Yeah.
You understand?
So if we are to go for that goal, where do we start?
If you go for that, we become more stronger. You know why the West is against our ECO?
Yeah.
You see, if you have your ECO, you'll be stronger. So if about 15 nations are using one currency, don't you think we'll be stronger?
Yeah.
Look at the French francs. Togo, Côte d'Ivoire, excuse me, Burkina Faso, Mali.
Cameroon.
No, Cameroon, their CFA is different.
Okay.
Mali, Niger, they are using CFA. You know that they are CFA, their money is almost like the euro.
Okay.
And our CD is
Nothing.
Nothing. You understand?
Yeah.
So if today, if I tell a lot of people, instead of you wanting to travel to go to Europe and then work, go to Togo and work hard. If you go to Togo and you are working, what you are earning there,
similar to
the
what
person who's
you do
living in Germany comes with the euro and then you come with your saver. There's no difference. There's no difference.
Okay.
That's why I said,
So-
Matthias, if we have to start, if we have to go for that, where do we start?
Nkrumah has laid the path already.
But
We
Nkrumah
just
is
have to
no-
follow it.
So
We just have to follow it. People like Nkrumah, Sekou Touré, Patrice Lumumba, what's his name? Mandela, they've all laid the path. You understand? So we have to take it. We have to rise up. But it's because they know that if we are up, it's all about interest. You are united for an interest.
Yeah.
If you unite, my interest will go down. So whatever I can do to maintain you, to make sure you are not united, I will do it.
So-
it is all about interest.
Yeah.
You know, what's his name? Steve Biko. Steve Biko of South Africa. I mean, he was one of the. He said something, and I quote. He said, "The most potent weapon in the hand of the oppressor is the mind of the oppressed." The most potent weapon in the hand of the oppressor is the mind of the oppressed.
yeah.
You understand? So it's like today, it's difficult for us. If we are more united, do you think we will always go and ask for aid?
No, we wouldn't. So
Has the United States of America come to Ghana to ask for aid?
oh, how?
Has the EU come to Ghana or Africa to ask for aid?
We don't have anything to offer
No,
them.
it is because they are united.
Yeah.
United Kingdom,
Yeah.
United States of America, the EU, they are united.
So even behind the scenes, they really don't want us to come together.
Yes, it's about their game is about interest.
It's about interest.
If we are able to
Do you understand?
untangle ourselves,
Yes,
we can just
it's
come
about
together.
interest. Even today, even the West African French countries, they've decided to go to let the CFA go and then get their own currency. But France is not in agreement.
In agreement.
You understand? So, because if you let the CFA, the French CFA go, it means that their interest will go down.
will go
they
down.
won't get what they are getting.
Yeah.
So it is in their interest to make sure that you still use the CFA.
Yeah.
So, for many of the countries in Africa, we have become very open, so much that you have the Chinese coming in. Even our AU head office was built for us by the Chinese. Can you imagine
Your
that?
presidency was built by India.
And all of these things, people have said that it makes us very open to manipulations from people like that, because at the end of the day, they are basically the ones taking care of you.
Yeah.
In that sense, as smaller nations as we have ourselves in Africa, and even as we are not united now, how can we take ourselves out? Because now you'd have, even in the south, or even the east, you go there are other European nations taking over everything, because basically you owe them.
Yeah.
How can we draw ourselves away from them without necessarily starting any kind of war?
It will be difficult for you to draw away from them, because no nation can live in isolation. You understand? Don't forget that diplomacy or foreign policy is all because you need relation. With that relationship, there's nothing that can be called.
But the relation that
diplomacy.
is taking away your resources there.
No, but it is about, that's what I'm saying, it is about interest. It's the game. You know, so how are you playing yours?
Yeah.
That's the most important thing.
Okay.
You know, it's about game. Since yesterday, a lot of people are talking about Yvonne Nelson.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
It's a game. You understand? There's a bit of IR in it. You understand? People are reading the story like, oh, she's done that. Yes, there's no story that is better than your own story.
Yeah. Your experience. Yeah.
Do you understand? It is called public diplomacy. Do you understand? And she's played the game very well. You know that for almost a month, we've been talking about Ajinasari, Nogupa. This one has killed Ajinasari issue. Since yesterday, did you hear anybody mention Nogupo?
No.
Yeah, that's public diplomacy.
No. Even to today,
Till today,
she's
you
still
understand?
trending.
Yes,
She's
you understand?
trending.
So It's about an interest.
Yeah.
You understand? Whatever people are talking about, whatever it is, she is not looking at the father issue, the Sarkodie issue. No. I heard somebody saying today that John Dumelo has been vindicated. That's why I said
John has been vindicated.
Yes, everybody thought that it was him.
It was him. Like every time John Dumelo even also John has been vindicated.
So that is it. Like I was saying, it will be difficult for you to disassociate from them, because you need them. You need them.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you saying that, oh, I want to be isolated from my family. You can't be isolated from your family.
Yeah.
But how can you stand up to them with the you know, the manipulations or maybe some of the things that you do not like without it coming across as, you know?
Let me take, you see, one of, in foreign policy formulation, there are a lot of things that goes in. One, your culture goes in, and then the will of the people.
Yeah.
You understand? Let's say, for instance, we've made it clear. I told you the other time that we had two presidents. You know, I mean, I'm talking about standing up to them. We have two presidents. Let's look at President Mills. Let's look at President Akufo-Addo. You understand? And then let's look at the international issue, which has to do with the gay issue. You understand? The gay issue of their right. President Mills was emphatic and said that, listen, we will not agree to this. So if Britain wants, they should take their money and that. We have Akufo-Addo saying that we haven't had much agitation, and then we think that there's no much agitation. But he is saying that as a diplomat, at the back of his mind, he knows the culture of Ghanaians, and he knows what Ghanaians will not like.
True.
But for the sake of diplomacy, you need to say something. So both of them were right in different ways.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Okay.
And then two, standing up to them. The president made a very strong statement and said that he wants to move Ghana beyond aid. You know, and sincerely speaking, I think that yes, we're on a good path. You understand? And then I'm not the government spokesperson, but I mean every reasonable person, when you are level-headed, you realize that with the free SHS and all these things, we were on the right path until COVID came in. Yeah. You understand? Yeah. Because when COVID came in, we were forced to
do a few things,
to go back to the IMF and we do things that we didn't want to do. So I mean, there are things that these are the things that we can do to stand up to get. We had one person also, Mugabe. Of Zimbabwe, you understand? He had his own ideas. He had things. There are things that he said when he goes to a UN meeting. He was not shy to tell them, say this, say this, say that, say that.
Yeah, true.
You understand? The president of South Africa made a very important statement recently. He said that he does not understand any time when the foreign people look at interests here. Look at this. Look for that that speech and listen to it. He said that he doesn't understand why anytime the Europeans want to invite it, they invite a lot of African leaders to come. And then when they come, they just have few minutes to talk. And then after that, what they do is taking pictures. Do you understand? Do you know why they will invite a lot of people? It's because of that they don't give you time to talk. And then he said that now when you are inviting us, maybe 2, 3, 4, and so you can sit with you and talk. You understand? So I mean, these are some of the things.
Some of the things done to achieve diplomacy. Thank you very much.
So don't forget, diplomacy is one. To achieve foreign policy, diplomacy is one. Military force, like I mean, there are examples around.
And you mentioned sanctions.
Sanctions, you can see that when we do this for foreign aid and then all the deterrents. If you do that, we will do this to you, and then so.
We've had a very interesting conversation on achieving foreign policy goals through diplomacy, and we had Matthias Bonzo Erokon Boateng, who is IR governance and also a leadership expert, telling us all we need to know, and it's been insightful, and we are great to always have you here.
Thank you for having me.